Hey everybody, Mike Steele here, Barbecue Champs Academy live, and man, we've got a great show lined up for you tonight, and he's back, Mr. James Dodson. Hey brother, how you doing?
Doing well, Mike. How about you, sir?
Man, I'm doing really good. I'm glad to have you here. Alan Freeman's calling. You see that? No,
Of
you know I
course.
gotta. Hey, watch this. Hey, you know I'm in the middle of a podcast. I've got 28,000 people on right now, and I just went live. He said goodbye. That's great. Oh, anyway, glad to have you back with us, brother. Glad to have you back with us. I know you've been taking care of Miss Erica, and I'm glad that she's doing better. And I know y'all are excited to be cooking now that the weather's getting cool. Give you a chance to get out and do a little cooking. So follow orders from her, whatever you do. Remember,
Always.
rule number one, she's always right. Rule number two, if she's found wrong, see rule number one. You should
Right,
know
right.
the drill by now. So
Dude.
anyway, man, we got a great show lined up tonight, James. Got some good guests on here tonight. Got Mr. Shane with Damn Yankees, and finally, I have been trying forever to get Stephen Peacock on with Mac Daddy Barbecue. And he is on tonight as well. He said, I'm taking vacation, so if you want me, you better get me this week, or I got a week in October. And I was like, it's done. So
Nice.
anyway, Gordon's always got the hashtag free James. Yes, he is. He's free. We found him. So we got Travis on here. What's up? Who's that dude? Hasn't seen him in a while. Yeah, I know. Bobby Oliver, man, I seen a pretty interesting picture of you, Bobby. You talking about that old school picture I have of James. I think we're gonna have to get you on here, and I don't think nobody's gonna recognize that picture I've got that I can get of you. Should we share that, or should we just save it
I
when I
think
get
I
ready?
think you just put that in the vault and you pull it out later.
Yeah, we'll save that one for another time. We'll have to reach out here. He is the points leader now in Rib Association, so
It's on fire.
may not be a bad idea to maybe get him on and throw that picture out there. They'd probably go, "Who is that?" So,
But yeah.
got our brother Carlos on here, brother. How are you doing? Got Miss Erica.
Carlos?
Got Erica on here. She's out cooking chicken wings, showing James how to do it, and the podcast at the same time. Miss Brenda, we appreciate you being here. Erica, let's see you this weekend. Yep, Bobby already knows the pictures, so. Homegrown Barbecue, good afternoon from the rest of the barbecue world. Glad to have you here. AJ, glad to have you with us, brother. Jeff, hope you're doing good. And look forward to seeing you in a few weeks, man. We're getting amped up for the Jack. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm gonna go try our best to see if we can bring home a win to Louisiana. It'd be really cool. So who wins to get a timeout? James doesn't have control. I think I took him off, so
Yes.
he'll
Yes.
behave very well. So I got Mr. Dirk on here. Hey, brother, what's going on? Glad y'all's Rib Association deal is doing good, and looks like y'all got a lot of competitions this year, and it's going well. So congratulations on your first year. So let's see here, James. Did I hear right? Y'all will be. Are y'all gonna be coming to the Royal?
No, that'll be Bobby Oliver. I was gonna come and be Bobby's or walking person,
I
and
gotcha.
that's not what he said. But I
Yeah,
didn't realize it was on the same weekend my daughter turns 21.
yeah, that ain't gonna
So
happen.
we're not. I
Er-
told Bobby yesterday I'm not going to be able to make it.
Yeah, Erica probably made an executive decision that wasn't going to
Oh
happen.
yeah, exactly.
That's probably what I figured, right? So anyway, oh goodness gracious. Well, I'm telling you, it's going to be a lot of fun. I wanted to go cook this week, but we planned a vacation a long time ago. We're going to go to Boston and go eat some lobster. So we're heading up to Boston tomorrow and get there, driving up to Portland, Maine. As soon as we get off the airplane, about 2 hours trip. We're going to stay up there for a couple of days, come back down to Boston, stay there for a couple of days, and be back Monday. So, been looking kind of forward to that. It kind of happened at a bad time because I didn't know I'd be going to the Jack. I really would like to cook one weekend. Like I've never cooked chicken wings before, so I wanted to do a practice run, but I'll have to do it. I'll get one weekend before when I get back next week. So I'll get a chance to cook up some wings. I mean, they are pretty easy to do, and I've got plenty of room in the box to get them in there, so shouldn't have any problems there. And just running everything else like I normally do. I'm not never cooked KCBS outside of the American Royal, never. So But we'll have a good time. We're getting amped up to go to that. So I know Lucas is
Did you
going to
learn
be there.
anything from cooking with Sweeties last year? I mean, I know you went there for moral support, but did you learn anything about flavor profiles or?
Yeah, on the flavor profile, he pretty much ran all his stuff on chicken ribs and pork, and I kind of helped him a little bit with brisket. I told him we're going to do something a little different. I don't think that what we cook in Texas was necessarily going to work as well. So we tried something a little different. I mean, he had a 12th place brisket. He was 1 point away from being in top 10. So it was his highest call. So, yeah, I think I'm going to run that same profile. It's really good. It's not overpowering. It's very smooth. And, man, it had a great, great flavor. So, and he went off and cooked it. I think he cooked it at the Royal Oak Invitational. Then he took off and cooked it up at that Pine Bluff and got reserve grand champion behind Tim Shearer up there. So, it's a solid brisket. It works very, very well, and I've run it several times since, and it's a really, really good brisket. That's actually the one that I taught my class that we did here a couple weeks ago, and man, everybody was like, "God, dog, this brisket was good." So I don't know. I'm going to go try that. I think I really am going to throw it on a drum. I know there's a lot of drum cookers up there, and that is Can Country. And I've never cooked a brisket on it, but I'm thinking about maybe putting it on a drum for a couple hours and then taking it off and then putting it back in my rotisserie. So I'm really considering doing that because I've looked at a lot of the teams that have done very, very well, and I know they all cook on drums. And sometimes you got to be smart. Do your homework and look at some of this stuff. And if you can't beat them, join them in a case like that. So. Homegrown barbecue, don't do it. So anyway, so I'm considering doing that. It's just I've got to figure out my timeline. I don't think it's going to mess it up. Mine's a 4-hour cook on my rotisserie, and I wrap. Usually when I wrap, it's around 152 to 155 degrees. So 3 hours on a can at 300 is probably going to be 155. If I knew that number exactly, then I know I can wrap it and put it in my big rotisserie, and I know I'm 2 hours, 2.5 hours in the wrap, 2.5 hours in the wrap, no, 3 hours in the wrap, and I'm done. So I look at it like this. If it's 152, 155 when I wrap it and I put it straight off a drum at the same temperature and I put it over there in mine, it's going to be done at the same time because internal temp once it gets wrapped. So I think 3 hours. I did a couple on my WSM before, just like when I do virtual cooking classes. And it seems like to me 300 degrees at 3 hours, it's usually about 154, 155 degrees. And if it is, I can roll with it. And I don't do practice, man. I'll just roll with it when I get to a competition. So anyway, do you cook? You cook on a drum, don't you?
Oh yeah, yeah. And I do 3 hours. I never check the temp.
You don't ever check it, yeah.
Yeah,
So
I wrap it after
yeah,
3.
yeah. So it's probably pretty close to that 155 degree mark. So anyway, well, we got some guests that we're going to get on here. The first one up, man, Mr. Stephen Peacock. Man, we've only tried about a cajillion times to get this young man on here. Hey, brother, how are you doing, Stephen?
Pretty good. How are you guys doing?
Man,
Thanks for
I'm
having me on the
Good.
show.
finally, we've only been trying for 2.5 years to get you on, and glad to have you. You've been absolutely tearing it up. Thank you
Yeah.
for everything that you've done to help promote Barbecue Champs Academy. You are a huge ambassador for us, one of our pro staff, along with Mr. James. So we really do appreciate you guys and spreading the barbecue love. And it's great to see incredibly good cooks like you two and Carlos as well. Carlos is on our pro staff to go out and represent our company very well, and just to see the success that y'all have had. I'm not speaking just for me. I'm speaking for all the guys. I know you've taken Aaron's and Bill's and gosh, I don't know all the classes you've taken, but you've posted them every time, and I think you've taken Lee's, and
Right.
it's really good that these guys appreciate it as well, because I don't really say anything unless somebody mentions it. If they mention it, then I'll say, hey, such and such is using it.
hmm
Other than that, we keep you anonymous if that's what you want. So anyway, but glad to have you on our show.
Yeah.
We got another guy on here, damn Yankee, Oh, there he is. Hey, hey Shane, how are you doing, brother? Oh, God, we don't hear no audio. Can't hear you. Oh, he's going, oh, crap.
We
He's,
can't
Mute.
hear
yep,
you.
yep, yep. Little sign language here.
The guy can cook. but
Can
he's
you
got
hear me
the
now?
audio.
No, we can hear you
There
now.
you go.
Okay.
He's got it. Hey, Shane, how are you
Man.
doing, brother?
I'm good. My computer decided to update as I got on tonight, and I got my computer rolling in the background now, so I can see people talking smack. So I'm
There
on
we
my
go.
phone.
There
So
we go.
hopefully you can hear me good. But yeah, thanks for having me on, Mike. I appreciate it.
Man, absolutely, brother. I couldn't. Congratulations. Let's see. You had a big grand champion this weekend.
I did. Got lucky.
Yeah, man, you're a good cook. Don't even go there. So,
Thank you.
and Stephen, you had a reserve grand
I
champion
had a
this
reserve
weekend.
grand champion.
So, man, you guys have been you guys have been killing it. So, let's see. Travis wants to know: are you from Boston? Boy, that might stir up some stuff right there.
No,
gosh.
no. As Mike said, I'm a winner. So I'm from New York.
New
so
York.
everybody, yeah. Boston's not winners. New York are winners.
New York are winners. So
at least 28 times. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. So Mr. Yankee himself. Oh, goodness gracious. Well, I guess it was. So what part of New York are you from?
I'm from Newburgh. It's about an hour north of the Bronx. So yeah, I grew up a Yankee fan. Went to a bunch of Yankee games in the old Yankee Stadium.
Right.
And unfortunately, I've never been to new Yankee Stadium, so we're probably going to take care of that one next summer. But yeah, no, I grew up an hour north of the Bronx in Newburgh. Yeah.
Okay. So how long have you been in Texas?
I've been here since 1998. That's why I'm a damn Yankee. You can't get rid of me.
You can't get it out. How long you been cooking, Shane?
So I started back in 06, I would say.
Dang, you've been cooking a long time.
He's a veteran.
Well, no. Competition cooking, I've been cooking 3 years. But I started learning barbecue. Barbecue in New York was hot dogs and hamburgers on a grill.
Yeah.
So down here, I learned back in 07, my first deal was a little refrigerator propane smoker with a wood chip tray. And yeah, a lot of my friends made fun of me, but I started to learn how to make barbecue in Texas back in 06, 07.
Okay.
But I started competing 3 years ago.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So was it pretty much a no-brainer? My barbecue team was just going to be damn Yankee?
So I was a bouncer in a bar when I played baseball at the University of Memphis. And when I was a bouncer, all of us had nicknames, and mine was Damn Yankee. And it's just kind of always just stuck with me.
It's always stuck. Okay.
Yeah.
Did the Texas guys give you a hard time about that?
Yes, absolutely.
It's not hard. I mean, it's plastered all on the side of your trailer. Damn Yankees. So
he makes it easy.
Yeah, it does.
For the first, couple of years, I've always said, if I ain't going to win shit, you're going to at least know I was here.
That's right.
So,
that's right. Yeah,
That's
it. We used to have a saying in drag racing when we used to compete on the circuit, if you can't, what was it? If you can't win, at least you can look good. If you can't, what was the dang saying? If you can't win, you can at least look good. You can at least look good trying. So, and that's it. So at least they know who you are. So.
Yeah. So I learned from Jordan Kirkpatrick, my first Royal. I was probably my fourth or fifth ever competition. I showed up and I'm 2 spots down from him. I'm 1 spot down from Brad Cox, local Yokus, who's also an amazing cook.
Yeah.
And Jordan, he goes, "Hey bud, look good, cook good." I'm like, "All right, noted."
That's it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, goodness gracious. We got a big T on that shirt.
Meanwhile, Steven shows up with a freaking pop-up tent and 2 pellet grills and whoops everybody's ass.
Yeah, ain't that for sure. Pellet cooker. Pop-up tent and 2 pellet cookers. I was like,
sleeps in his truck.
Yeah, sleeps in his truck. I mean, I was over there at Dedgum, where was it? Irving, Texas this year, and he's got two grills over there, pop-up tent, and sleeping in his truck.
And a Weber.
And a Weber, yeah. So
I'm just letting you know. I used to try to help Steven pull those Green Mountain grills out of the back of his truck, but the problem is my back would end up hurting and my butt because he would whip it. I was like, I'm not helping you pull that crap off. Why don't you get it yourself?
2 pellet grills, but only one lid.
Y'all can put that story to rest, please.
Yeah. What? Tell us about the lid now. What was this?
This was the first cook-off this year. I did have. Let me preface it. I had trouble getting one of my pellet grills into my truck to start the day. It actually rolled over, and the lid that I have has a glass in it.
Yep.
on that particular on the new models there.
Yep.
I mean, it shattered the glass. I mean, I panicked. I didn't know what I was going to do. I rigged up something to cover it up, so it was already banged up. I go do the cook-off. I have a terrible cook-off. I think relative. I had one call, but it was like 11th place, out of the money, nothing. And I loaded everything up, and I'm driving back home. I haven't quite left Wichita Falls. A lady pulls up, starts pointing to the back of my truck. And I'm going, oh, gosh, what fell out? So I pull over, and when I walk out, one of my pellet smokers had no lid on it. And when it fell, I bent the support hinge because there's not a bolt in it. So it's like a pressure hinge.
Right.
Well, it messed it up, and the wind caught it. And so I'm backing up. I end up finding it. I see a truck run over it before I could get to it, jacked it all up. But apparently, Tim Esch saw it before I got to it. So the word got out before I could hide it. And
oh, gosh. And
Tim poking little fun had to tell everybody. So
Tim never messes with anybody.
No, that's for
he
sure.
was wondering, like, that looked like a Green Mountain grill lid. Why would that be here?
Yeah, it has to be Steven.
Yeah, and I think even Bobby Oliver said he saw it too. So
that's hilarious. Travis said he found it.
Yeah.
Steven owes me a trailer tire. I found it. So let's see. I didn't run over there.
So
oh gosh, let's see, Steven. Steven, we will put that story to rest as we put mine, but with Bobby's chicken to rest. So
yeah, I'll tell that story. AJ was supposed to bring Bobby chicken.
Oh, yeah.
I remember that.
And then AJ showed up, and Bobby was like, he'll bring me the chickens. Then he goes over, and AJ goes, oh, man, I forgot them.
I forgot the chickens. I remember that. Oh, golly, that's hilarious. There's always fun stories in barbecue. That's for sure. That's for sure. All right, so we do need to go ahead and clear this up, Shane. I saw you sipping some moonshine that Carl had. Did it live up to the expectation?
I'm going to tell you that stuff, you could pour it. You don't even need to pour it over ice. You could put a straw in it and just chug it. Dang. So here's the unfortunate issue. Like normally for me, I'd pour 2 drinks and I'd take it to awards. Well, so without having my better half with me, I poured 1 and went up there and went through awards. And fortunately this weekend, I mean, it was in my favor. So I only had 1 drink. Well, by the time we got back to the camper, I still had the same drink. Well, everybody else was 3 sheets to the wind but me, which is usually the opposite. Yeah. And Carl busts out the moonshine. He brings out the strawberry lemonade, the sweet tea. I mean, you name it. He brought out every flavor he had, and there was people buying up jars of it. And next thing you know, we have 8 of them sitting around. And I mean, I drank a little bit of it, but I bought the UFC fight outside my trailer, and at 11 o'clock, there were still 2 fights to go. I was the only one sitting there watching fights. Everybody else was in bed. I don't know what happened, but freaking rookies.
Yeah, rookies.
Yeah. But Carl's moonshine is freaking delicious.
Yeah.
So cast iron cookers, if y'all ever run into him, just holler at him. He'll give you that little smile he's got, and he's got it. So, yeah. Yep.
Oh, that's hilarious. So, James, what are you up there sipping on, James?
Sweet tea.
There you go. That's what I got. I got Mio sweet tea. So
I got a little crown and Diet Coke, and
there you go. Oh goodness! All right, Stephen. Let's hear a little bit about what's been going on with you, man. I know you haven't been cooking very long either, have you?
No, sir. I sound like I didn't know Shane's story. I'm about the same boat as him. This is actually completing my 2nd full year.
Okay.
I started my first cook was in June, right before the summer break, and it was after that first cook is when I decided I needed some help because I got hooked on. I got a 9th place chicken call on my first cook, not knowing anything, and I got hooked on it.
That's good.
And I, little quick history. I was working to be a head judge with IBCA at the time, and I was assistant judge, and kind of heard about Barbecue Champs Academy and stuff like that. But once I cooked, I mean, when I decided this is kind of what I wanted to get into a little bit more,
Right.
and then during that summer is when I took my first class, and to kind of cook through the summer here at home.
Right.
And my first cook after that was Justin's and cook off up in Albert at the Watermelon, and got I think a 7th overall.
Wow. Right off
And
the get-go.
by the doing what I learned from the first class that I took,
Okay.
and then I just kind of went from there.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, man, you've been on a roll. I mean, for somebody new to cooking in only a couple years, you have definitely
Right.
You have definitely been on your A game. So when you show up, we know we better be on our A game.
Oh yeah,
to beat
yeah.
you.
I can sneak up on you. I can sometimes not have a good cook, but
Right.
But I'd say don't necessarily sleep on me.
No.
I do the best I can.
That's it. You're always consistent. That's the key.
Yeah.
You know,
Same.
Steven, it's funny you say that. I mean, because like you can always not have a good cook, but like even after winning this weekend, like doing CBA and getting my comments, I'm like, I don't know that I even wanted to see my comments after this weekend. It's like I would, but it's
Right.
like I get the same comments that I got after winning that I get when I don't win.
Yeah.
So it's
yeah.
like I don't even want to see those jokers.
Yeah.
Like literally, I put them right here. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Them comments don't mean nothing. We get that all the time in our forums and stuff. Somebody is taking a class and they're like, well, they said it's too salty and this one says it's too sweet. What am I supposed to, or not salty enough? What am I supposed to do? And I was like, take them comments and throw them away. They're just enough to get you confused.
Yeah, I always like what Chris Hatcher said. He said everybody wants comments when they cook until they get them.
That's right. That's exactly it. What is it going to do? I mean, are you going to change anything? You know, that's just one judge at one cook-off that, you know, oh, they said it was too salty. Okay, well, you're going to go to the next competition and they're going to go, man, it didn't have no salt on it. It was terrible.
Yeah,
So,
and that judge not going to be at the next competition.
And he'll be there. That's exactly. That's right.
I kept a sheet from the Great Wagyu Roundup. It was Eric and I's first CBA, first time to cook pork in a comp.
Yeah.
And we had first place pork, but the comments were not, one was too sweet, not sweet enough, too salty, not salty enough, and we still got first place. And I'm like, it just made no sense.
Yeah, is that confusing enough? So which one are you supposed to believe? So
my favorite comment this weekend was on my brisket. Nice pull. Oh, it said good pull. I'm like, how do you know I have a good pull when you're knife and fork judging?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
Good pull. Yeah, good pull. Yeah.
Wow.
Hey.
Yeah. It just goes to show, man. I like James said, man. I don't pay no attention to the comments. It don't matter.
You can't.
All you can do is cook your profile, taste it, put it in the box. This is what I'm looking for, and hope for the best. You know, and if that day, if they like sweet and savory, if they like sweet and heat, you nailed it right. So
and nobody bitches when they win with shitty turn-ins, but everybody bitches when they lose with good turn-ins.
Yeah, that's it. So,
I love that.
Yeah, that's so true. Let's see what even Kyle said. I got one that said not enough oak flavor one time. Wow, man, somebody's got a heck of a palate if they know oak from hickory from pecan. So. Mark says they sure are fun to read. Yeah, it's for sure. Yeah, I look at them and go, yeah, okay, they don't know what they're talking about. So, oh, goodness gracious. Well, where are you cooking next, Stephen?
I'm taking this weekend off. I'm eyeing maybe Seymour.
Okay.
That's a new cook with our outlaw organization. So I haven't been up there. It's about 2 hours away from me, so not too bad.
Okay, that's not bad.
Work will probably help dictate that.
Right.
But I think my next definite one, I know the first week is Keller Lions Club.
Okay.
I think that's the first week of October. I know for sure that's a definite.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Or second weekend or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Hey, Steven, can I tell you something about Busted for Baylor in Seymour, Texas?
What's that?
So Eric and I went and cooked that a couple of years ago. You might know a guy that got, I think, third place in the beer belly dancing contest. Just to let you know. And
I
then
wasn't there.
they have a little people throwing contest,
Okay.
and then it's a biker rally as well. And when I say biker, it's not like my buddy Scott Loftus, a 55-year-old guy that has a $30,000 Harley. It's the guy that have the patches on the back.
I understand.
It'll be the most interesting weekend you've ever had at a cook-off. I can guarantee you that.
Wow.
I like it.
That's funny. That's funny. So you got a few cook-offs, and I know now you made the segment for the is that the third segment? First, second, third segment.
No.
So was it the third segment that you
Second.
got in?
Second segment is the
Okay.
one I won that one.
So you won the second segment. So you're in for the
Yeah,
outlaw
so I'm
bounty
in.
hunt.
So
Okay.
So that kind of frees me up. I don't, I'm not chasing points
Right.
as heavily now.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so Cody Allenbar just showed up. Do you think there's some way that we could perhaps buy him out of not winning this last segment so he's not in the bounty
Yeah,
hunt?
back to back GC.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think somehow or another we need to get him on a vacation to go to Hawaii or something and just, get him away from it because, I mean, the rate he's going, man, he is
Yeah, I know.
absolutely killing it. And he ain't cooked in forever and he just
Yeah, I
rolls
know.
out like there's nothing to it. So, oh my goodness gracious.
Hey,
Cody's tough to beat.
yeah.
I mean, I've used to a long time ago before Steven and Shane would show up. Like it was like if I saw Cody Allenbar, Brian Parker, or Chris Hatcher, I knew it was going to be a long day.
Oh yeah.
Cody just cooks and wins. Like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, no doubt. So,
Need to ask Cody how big was that chicken he put in the box? Just-
How big was that chicken, Cody?
yeah.
it must have been.
Oh my God! I walked in right behind him. I want to see how big he says that thing was before I comment.
Jason,
Probably
wow.
5.5 pounds.
Yeah, probably
Small
so.
turkey.
Small turkey.
Does he do big chickens usually?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
he does.
Oh, okay.
He said it was
He
a
said
turkey.
turkey.
it was a
Right.
turkey.
I would believe him. I walked in behind him. I mean, I swear a leg was sticking out of it. And I just says, I don't even know how he closed the box.
Oh
And I
gosh.
said, I guess from my little bit of time, you want to kind of stay with that little bit of smaller chicken,
Right.
so stay tender. And so when I got a second place chicken, and I said, all right, at least I didn't get beat by Cody.
Right.
I'm up there getting my little stuff, and they call that number, and sure enough, here he comes walking around the corner. And I said, ain't no way that big ass turkey
It's
or
turkey.
chicken.
It was turkey.
He did it. It
that's
must be
crazy.
good. He must know how to cook a big chicken.
Yeah.
He
yeah.
cooked a turkey in Houston, and Houston they have smaller boxes.
Yeah.
And I don't know what he does, like some type of like martial arts or something, Brazilian jiu-jitsu on that turkey, but he fit it in that box, and I was like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. He
Gotta
said, I don't know
stretch it
about
up a little
y'all.
bit.
He says, I don't know about y'all, but I'm
Exactly.
having a hard time finding small birds. I'm telling you right now. it
Yeah,
is
that's
hard.
right. I'll agree with that.
It's hard
The
to
small
find 'em.
birds are. I think I cooked four. I think it was a 4.6, and that was the smallest. And it took me. That was 3 trips to HEB to find that.
Yeah.
Everything else was all 5 pounds and up.
Yeah. Yeah. Shane, what size chickens you cook? Are you doing thighs?
No, well, so get this. So I'm going to Pine Bluff this weekend, KCBS, and otherwise I was going to Springtown because I mean I love CBA, but I got some Australia buddies in town that we cooked meat stock with, and they're in town right now, so they're going to Pine Bluff with old Tyler Cannon, if y'all know him. And
Oh yeah.
so the wife and I said, all right, screw it. We got friends up that way, so we're going to go up to Pine Bluff and do. It's only our second KCBS of the year. So I go to HEB today and I go walking in there and man, I go right to the whole chickens. I'm like, oh, wait a minute, put them back. I had to
Yeah,
go over
that's
to the
it.
legs and thighs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the HEB at Spring Creek and Preston had a bunch of small whole chickens if you need any.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, man, I mean, on my whole birds, I'm a 4.7 to 5 pound guy because I mean, if I need to trim it down a little bit, I'll take some meat off of it to make it fit in the box. But the 4.2 to 4.5s, like for me, the way I cook, dry out on me, But I'm running them on my drum. I'm running them at 300 and dropping my rack down a little bit, but they dry out on me a little bit. So, but that's just the way I cook them, and
Right.
so yeah, I mean, but every bird's different, right? And
Right.
so yeah, but I'm a 4.7 to 4. I prefer 4.7 to 4.9. That's where I'm at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good sized chicken. I mean,
Yep.
I'm usually somewhere in that area too. That's kind of where I like them. So
Are you team wingtip or no wingtip?
I like my wingtip on it. I do not cut it off. You go look at everyone. A chicken just don't look like a chicken with a wingtip.
I agree with you.
It looks the stupidest thing with a little nub sticking
little
up.
nub there.
It's dumb looking.
Well, my first place chicken was dumb looking this weekend. When it moves, it drags some of that rub off sometimes,
Yeah,
so
I've never had that. I've never had mine
cooking
move.
it right, Shane.
That's right. You ain't doing it right, Shane.
Man, I'll keep cooking it wrong. I'll keep cooking it wrong.
I'm Team Rob. Like we used to do the wingtip, but we watched a judging, and we watched how the wingtip got in the way of the judges.
Huh.
And so ever since then, we clipped that wingtip off.
I never thought about that.
I mean, don't listen to me. I mean, Erica's the one that cooks the chicken.
Let's ask Cody. Okay, Cody, what do you do? All right, you saw it. I'm trying to shig a little bit off of him. So, Cody, do you cut the wingtip off? And if you don't tell us the truth, we got Steven who saw your chicken because he'll know. So.
No, all I saw was a leg.
Oh, you just saw because it was still hanging out the box. Yeah, it was hanging out the box.
Yeah, it was hanging. I could see what color it was.
Okay, all right.
And Mike, can we ask James how his chicken went that one weekend in Fort Worth when Erica wasn't there to cook it for him?
Oh God.
Oh yeah. Well, there might have been.
You got to tell the story.
Yeah.
You got a call though, didn't you?
No.
Oh, I thought you did.
We got a first place brisket and a second place rib and a 28th chicken.
Were you robbing chicken skin from one of your other chickens and putting?
Oh no, that was in Bridgeport.
Okay, yeah, sorry. I blew all those towns run together over there.
Yeah, I blew all the skin off both chickens. So I was like, I mean, there was literally, and so I started cutting one skin off the other chicken, and like Hannibal Lectering it, and I started. And then I brought Justin over, and I was like, Justin, what do you think? And he's like, dude, I'd do it, because it didn't look bad, and we got a chicken call.
Wow, that's crazy.
Hannibal Lecter chicken.
That's it.
I mixed honey and the barbecue sauce to thicken it up so it wouldn't show as much. It was awesome.
I mean, you can do a lot of stuff with barbecue sauce and a little rub on them bare spots. So,
I always say that it's everybody cooks good barbecue under good conditions, but I think these guys will admit it's when things go a little bit wrong that when you have to think outside the box. I think sometimes that you might get a 5th place call instead of a no final table, or instead of a 20th place call.
Right.
And there was no alcohol involved, James.
I was actually sober that day, believe it or not.
Oh gosh, it puts the sauce on the skin. Yeah, let's see.
That might have been the problem. You were out of your mental element.
That's
right.
The
3 times that I didn't drink on Saturday last season, we didn't get calls. So.
So you're a good cook. You're a good drunk cook then.
Well, all 3 of those, Erica wasn't there, so I think I'm a better cook with Erica there.
Yeah, I would say so. Oh, goodness gracious. Yeah, ugly birds win. Yeah, ugly chickens wins what Peter said. He's right, man. You ought to see some of the guys in South Louisiana, man. I've seen some skins blown up and everything. Yeah, man, that's backyard chicken. So
yeah.
If it ain't got a split or 2 in the skin and busted off of it, man, you're messing up. So let's see what we got here. What's Shane, Allen Carter here? Blues Q barbecue team. Yankees versus Mariners tonight. Oh, gosh.
I got my TV on right here in the pub.
He's already watching it. So
Seattle.
Now they come on in an hour, so it's a late game.
It's a late. That's right, because it's in Seattle, so they're 2 hours.
Yeah, Rangers are losing 2-0.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. We won our World Series. I'm happy. I'm content with the rest of my life.
That's it.
I don't care. 1 is good enough for me, man.
That's it. How many has the Yankees got?
28.
28 and counting.
Golly, that's
Hopefully this year we
crazy.
get another one. We're
Looking good. Wow. Oh, goodness gracious. So what do you prefer cooking, Shane? Are you more like the CBA stuff, or have you got one organization you typically like a little more, or just any good place you can go cook barbecue?
I'm gonna tell you, last year, old Fireball AC and I got on a pretty good run with KCBS, and we were hitting, man. In June, we did a competition in Springfield, Missouri. First chicken, first brisket, and I bombed in ribs. I did okay in pork, and I was one call away from GC. In KCBS, like 6 out of 7 comps were one call from GC.
Yeah.
Lenexa Barbecue Battle, 178 teams. I took third overall.
Gosh.
And of all things, if we get a chicken call, which normally, I don't know, somehow we get chicken calls, but if we got a top 20 chicken instead of 31st chicken, we GC that thing. But it's like we were just chasing, and then I don't know what it is, but it seems like my cook or my flavors in July and August just fall off. And like when it's cooler, September, October, November, it seems like my cook hits. I don't know. Like, and then
Right.
like in the spring and the fall, like in the
Yep.
middle of summer, I don't know if I'm not adding enough salt. I don't know if I'm adding too much salt. But in the middle of the summer, I might as well just cash it in and sit by the pool, but I don't.
Yeah.
So I love last year we loved KCBS, but they had a bunch of scoring issues and this and that, and so we kind of shifted gears. We did a few CBAs last year, and man, we love those. And
Yeah.
what I love about the CBAs is what I didn't love about the KCBS is after awards, everybody's packing up and going the hell home.
Yeah.
CBA after awards, everybody's pulling out the chairs, the solo stoves, the grills, the karaoke. Let's freaking party,
Right.
and either
right.
celebrate or just whatever, drown your sorrows.
Right.
Outlaw has kind of been a very similar situation. Fortunately for me in North Texas, man, I've got outlaws within an hour or less or 2 hours from the house, and those are great when Lacey wants to stay home and I can just run and go do one and I can be home the same night. But man, I'm gonna tell you, this year we've cooked a lot of Texas, a lot of CBA, a lot of outlaw. We're about to start getting into some KCBS stuff with Pine Bluff, and then we go up to Oak Grove the end of October for BBQ. It's a doubleheader right before the American Royal, and then we're gonna do the American Royal. But
Okay.
man, I'd say my number one. I mean, no dig on anybody is CBA. The walk-up songs are freaking cool. I mean, Outlaw, I love everybody that's a part of Outlaw. Outlaw is great. 3 meats. I mean, it's a lot less stress than 4 meats.
Yeah.
But yeah, KCBS is a different animal with 4 meats and 30-minute windows, and I need old Fireball Lacey with me
Yeah.
because I mean that's too much for this chubby guy to handle.
Yeah. It's a lot to try to do by yourself. Let's see, Alan
It
Carter.
really is.
Shane, we met a couple of weeks ago at the Outlaw Barbecue competition. This is Alan Carter, Brush, Prairie, Washington. Great meeting you, brother. You got your first GC, which was awesome. There you go. So
Yeah. It's funny, as James and I were talking yesterday. So thank you, man. I appreciate you putting that out there. Big monkey off my back. That was my first GC ever, and everybody knows I've been chasing like a madman. But of course, you get the haters out there, right? When you win one, and I brought a buddy with me because I'm not going 2,000 miles to freaking lose.
right.
So I brought Kurt Wallace from Smoking Furious. I'm like, man, I've been struggling in brisket. Can you come help me? And he came. He goes, where are you struggling? And he just kind of helped coach me along, and he helped me run my brisket. And and it's like, and we won. So it's like, but you get the haters talking shit. Oh, sorry, talking smack.
Yeah.
And so it was really nice to validate it. We're 2 weeks later, GC in this weekend.
Yeah.
Got it by myself.
Once you get that first one, the others come kind of easy sometimes.
Yeah, they're easy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I ain't gonna lie, it was a whole lot less
Once
pressure
you
this
get that
weekend.
first one, the other one seemed to
And
give you
Shane and I
confidence
had a
in knowing what you're doing.
Yeah, Shane and I had a conversation yesterday, and what I told him was, everybody likes you because you're fun, blah blah blah. But it's like once you win the first one, then it's like you hear the then the drama starts.
Yeah.
And what's so funny is when Erica won her first one, everybody's like, she hit like 3 top tens. We were cooking against each other, and we cooked in Alvord, Stephen, the year before when COVID was going on.
I was there.
It was like, there was like 40 teams there, and me and Benny Koger stayed up till 5 o'clock in the morning because I wasn't cooking. I went to bed. Erica was mad because I didn't help her start fires or whatever, but everybody saw her cook all day. Like I didn't wake up until 11:45, right before chicken turned in, but everybody was like, "Oh, she won because James cooked." And it's always like after you win the first couple, and after that, but I mean, let's be honest, Shane had a ringer, but no, I was so happy. Eric and I watched the live when you hit the first brisket and the first chicken on that in the KCBS, and I was like, he GC'd it. And then when you get to GC, I was like, man, it's coming. And I told you that before. It's coming.
Yeah.
You told me in Bridgeport that you thought I was due.
I did.
The grind is real, man. Like everybody out here that's a cook that knows the grind is real. We all want it. We all love each other, but we all want to beat each other's asses.
Yeah. That's the way it is.
But the grind is real, man. It really is. And we spend a lot of money on this, and ain't nobody coming out here to half-ass this.
Nope.
They
got serious.
So it's like, and I mean, for people there's a couple people out there, they've been banned from Lone Star and, stuff like that. They like to run their mouth a lot. And, it's like, but I was like, it's just like, man, the barbecue family is real. And if you don't want to be a part of the barbecue family and you want to be a hater, go be a hater, but man, I love seeing my friends win because, man, we cooking against each other. We're cooking to like feed some people that saw an episode of Barbecue Pitmasters and think they're a barbecue critic now.
That's it.
know?
Yeah, that's how I started.
Yeah.
Watching that.
Same.
Got my interest.
Same.
Yep. Same way. I mean, and it's so true. I mean, there's a lot of haters out there. They get jealous and everything else, and it is what it is. I take a lot of flack. Oh, you got all these classes. You cook. Like, man, you don't realize. And I've told people, I don't use none of that stuff. I watch them, we edit them, and that's it. I never see them. I don't ever use this stuff. My whole deal. People's like, well, when are you going to do a class on Barbecue Champs now that you're doing it? You did your cooking class. I said, I'm not. I never will. Barbecue Champs was never about me. It was about taking these guys that have won world champions and this and that and getting their classes out there. I didn't want Barbecue Champs to ever be about me, and I never would use it. That was one of the reasons why I did the class. I got so sick of hearing the crap, like, you just got everybody's wrist. I said, I tell you what, wait till you come to one of my classes. You're going to see I don't do nothing. And there's a lot of people that already done said it, like, man, you're teaching shit that we've never even heard of before. And I was like, try to tell you, I don't use nothing. I mean, I try to run my own lane, but that's just, my background came from drag racing where, I built my own engines, I poured in my own cylinder heads, I made my own nitro systems. I did all of it, I was one of the kind of guys that was pioneering stuff that these guys had never even heard of or seen, bringing out a nitrous nozzle that had never even been invented after 26 years of being on the market. And man, we revolutionized the nitrous industry. First race I go to, I set a world record. Man, I kept my mouth shut. And I mean, they all knew I built it. They was all wanting to buy them. I was like, they ain't for sale. I mean, we was in the game of building horsepower, and who had the most horsepower and could get it to the ground won. And that was why we was the fastest nitrous car in the country for years. And I did my own stuff. They're buying horsepower, right? They're buying it. They're Pat Musey engines, this, that. They're coming after me and like, you just ain't making enough horsepower yet, And it was because I did everything in house, so it gives you that advantage. And 4 years later, I licensed it to Edelbrock, and paid me a lot of money, $100,000, and you can have this nitrous nozzle and sell it. So, and 5% royalties. That's what it cost them, and they gladly paid it because I told them, I said, there's nothing out there on the market that's like this. I revolutionized it. And
Mike, I'll say it though. At what point do you consider yourself a barbecue champ and you just put your shit out there?
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
To me, I always said I haven't won a world champion, and most everybody that we have on there has. Sometimes when we film, some of them they weren't yet. But I don't want barbecue champs. It's not about me. It never was about me. It was a platform that we could help people. Like Stephen has been a huge ambassador for us, and James, and so many others have given us mentions and shout outs and stuff over and over and over. And so I would never do that because I would never want to take away a sale from those guys. Never. So
I'll tell you, 3 years ago when I started this grind, and after my first Royal, after like my fourth or fifth comp, whatever, my first Barbecue Champs Academy was Butcher Barbecues class.
yeah.
And because I was cooking on pellet grills, and I'm like, oh, if Butcher can do it on a pellet grill, I can do it. And
Yeah.
it ain't that damn easy.
Yeah.
You know, just because you have the type of cooker somebody has doesn't mean you can do it.
That's right.
So yeah.
Yeah. So it's a lot of fun. I mean, it really is. And you know, I don't worry about it. And my wife told me, I knew this when I started, you know, Barbecue Champ. She said, you realize everybody's going to think you can't cook. It's like, yeah, I know. I said, baby, I said, the whole thing is, I said, I've already had a lot of grand champions before I ever did Barbecue Champs. So, and I said,
You ain't got to be the smartest guy in the bunch. You just got to be, you know.
Let them think what they want. And if they want to think that, they can think that. I really don't care. You know, I run my own lane and I laugh. So,
well, I always look at it as like, you know, I didn't take a class forever, and I wore that as a badge of honor.
Right.
And then Eric and I left a cook-off, and I'm like, and I knew like 4 of the people that beat me all took classes.
Yeah.
And so literally on the way home, I said, hey, look up this class and buy it.
Yeah.
And literally I bought that class on the way home because I was like, I'm tired
There's
of
Erica.
yeah, there's Erica. I'm tired of you know, I'm just tired of getting whooped. You know, like we had a good run from 18 to 22, but it's like I'm at the point now where it was like, man, and somebody told me, and I can't remember who it was, they were like, you know, you have to look at it as continuing education. Like you do it for work, you do it for everything else. You take sales classes, you know, you take management classes and all this. Why not take a class? And it opened my eyes the way what people did with barbecue sauces and the finishing flavors, and not necessarily what you put on it when you cook it, but what you put on it right before you put it in the box and how you put it in the box. And, you know, Bobby Oliver's always like pretty food tastes better. Right.
Yeah.
And I think that those classes, you know, like Shane and Steven, when I first started, I remember like, you know, the first cook-off I went to, there were 12 teams, and I got 12th, 12th, and 12th.
Yeah.
And then I asked somebody from advice, and they were like, just take a tablespoon of kerosene and put it in your firebox. You know, it was like nobody helped you whatsoever.
Hey, this is not scripted. There was 12 teams, and I can't tell you if it was pork or ribs, but it's in Sulphur, Oklahoma. They got leveled by a tornado. It's one of my favorite trophies. Like 12 teams, and it still sits here in the pub.
Yeah.
And it takes that, you know, of spending all that money, because back then when I cooked, you could go buy a brisket for 69 cents. It was cheap.
Yeah.
Entry fees were $75 or $100. It wasn't, you know, and you were going out there having a good time with your buddies, but you know, it costs so much money for us to do this. It's $600, $700 a weekend, and a class is, to me, take one weekend of cooking off, buy a class and study that class, and you get your money back very quick.
Yeah, it usually will help. And that's the whole thing.
Mike,
You got it. Go ahead, Shane.
I would say, here's how stupid I am. So last year I ran a bunch of KCBS comps. So this off-season, December, January, I take a Blues Hog class with Brad and Tim, and then I go take Brad Cox, local Yokos class up in Illinois for KCBS stuff. Well, I come back in January, February, and run nothing but CBA and Outlaw.
Yeah.
You know, but the thing is if anything, that tells me a lot of their flavors do carry over down here. But there is a different process versus Texas versus up there. And like I was talking to Tim Shear yesterday, I was like, I'm coming up to Pine Bluff this weekend. I was probably going to get my teeth kicked in, no matter how good I've been cooking in Texas. He goes, man, you never know. Yeah. So, I mean, we'll see.
Yep.
We'll see.
I mean, look at Philip Breeden. I mean, Philip Breeden cooks everywhere across the world.
Yeah.
And he's hitting.
Yeah.
James, he had me biting my nails on Saturday because I took first chicken, fourth ribs. Phil took fourth chicken, second ribs. Okay. So going into brisket, it was only a 3 meat. And I'm like, oh God, it's me or Phil. And I know Phil's a way damn better brisket cook than, my damn Yankee ass who've been struggling. And man, so we get all the brisket calls were a bunch of backyard teams that a lot of us weren't familiar with. So I'm like, okay, I got a chance. Well, they go to top 10 overall. They call 10th, 9th, 8th place overall, LC barbecue. I'm like, oh God, I'm screwed. I'm like, because I don't consider myself a better brisket cook than Phil. Phil, I mean, you guys know Phil. And so we get the 8th, 7th, 6th, and then Tim Kuykendall standing up clapping for me. I'm like, dude, sit your ass down. I'm like 13th or whatever. And they get the 2nd, and all of a sudden, hey, sing it, Frank. And I'm like, holy cow. Wow. I did not expect it. So everybody's been texting me congratulations. And when I say I got lucky, man. I'm like, yeah, okay, the grind is real. I've been cooking. I've been grinding. I've been, getting after it. But I ain't sitting here trying to say I'm a better brisket cook than Phil Breeden by any means. So,
the whole lucky thing, I know you said that a few times, man, but I always tell Erica that we just get lucky occasionally. But the thing is you have to turn in food to get lucky.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to, if you don't turn in good food, I don't care. You're not going to get that lucky. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
that's right.
The food you turned in, I guarantee you was great food.
It's good food.
My grandpa always told me I'd rather be lucky than good.
Mm-hmm. That's a great statement there, James.
Yeah, true.
I always tell people good food travels. No matter where you go. Yeah, that's one thing I taught my class. I mean, I don't care if I go to Henrietta, Texas, and I never had cooked up there, and we did incredibly well up there. If I'm down South Louisiana by Lafayette, I cook the same, and I don't change it. And then I leave Henrietta and go all the way down to West Texas. I had a first chicken and a first brisket, and I cook the same everywhere I go. I try not to. I work on flavor profiles. That's one of the things that I really emphasized in the class is the flavor profile, and we teach some things that's very unique and different, and that is what helps you no matter what. If you're not constantly thinking outside the box and evolving, it's just everybody's doing the same thing, and then all of a sudden you don't have nothing that's any different. I'm a very analytical guy. I've got a lot of detailed stuff, and I'm just that kind of guy that's thinking way outside the box on things. And I think once you kind of start figuring those flavor profiles out, I can go from one thing to another thing, and that's why I'm not scared. If I have to go change a recipe, people, do you practice? I don't practice at home. Do you? Any of you guys practice at home, or do you just go practice a cook if you're doing a new recipe?
I practice at the cooks.
I do too. I
don't have time to cook at home.
I don't either. And it doesn't matter what I taste, and this tastes good. And I know James does something a little different at the beginning of every year and brings in people, and he's said that in the past, but it don't matter what I think. I just want to go to a cook-off and see how it stacks up. And if it goes to a cook-off and stacks up pretty good, man, I'm good with it. So
I'll tell you, if I'm at home cooking, I'm cooking something. I ain't cooking on my damn trailer. Yeah. I mean, as many comps as we run, I mean, the last thing I want to eat is competition barbecue. And like, I'm the biggest critic. I'll be like, salty. But that would have hit. I don't know. Cause you get, like you said, we get these critics,
Yeah.
But
I will say, Shane, your food that you cook at your house, Eric and I are like, God dang, those homemade meatballs you made the other day. I was like, when do I get an invite to that?
Come on, man. I'm telling you, if I'm home, it's an open invite. Somebody holler at me. Come on.
It was funny though. The first time I met Shane was at the Great. I wasn't going to bring it up, but it was the Great Wagyu Roundup, and it was like 120 degrees, Shane.
Dude, it was
on pavement. There was no shade, and it was horribly hot. So I met him. I went over and I was like, man, good to meet you, blah, blah, blah. I look over there 10 minutes later. He's loading everything back up. He was like, it's too damn hot for this damn Yankee.
Yeah.
Well, I was cooking out of an enclosed trailer. I brought a portable AC, and I'm like, this is dumb.
Not going to
work. This ain't, like, there's no part of that was going to be fun.
No, and it was like Glen. So I brought that up because then I cooked Glen Rose. And like Justin's like, man, come cook it. Yeah. We need to get 15 for the state, championship. So I went out there and Stephen GC'd that one, and it was 138 degrees. Like Tyler Cannon shot the pavement. It was 138 degrees. Yeah. Justin's air conditioner went out because he was like, no, y'all just camp out with us. it was the most miserable day of my entire life. And I literally told Erica, I was like,
Don't want to do
if
this
I
crap
wasn't,
no more.
if you and I was like, if I literally had my own camper, I was like, I'm gonna shame this thing. I was ready to go. It was horrible.
Yeah, that's
I'm glad I
miserable.
could be an example.
Yeah, that's
I
miserable
do,
stuff.
Mike. If I can, I need to give my Australian buddies a quick shout out.
Yeah, go right
Butterbeard
ahead.
Barbecue. So they flew over here in the last couple of days, and they went alligator gar fishing with Tyler Cannon and caught 138, 145 pound freaking alligator gars in Trinity, like nuts. Like
Yeah.
so, we think Australia is nuts, but so anyway, these boys trimmed a brisket for me and brought it over here from Australia. It's a 2GR Australian Wagyu brisket that I'm certain I will screw up in Pine Bluff.
No, don't
But-
do that.
No, so yeah, they smuggled it in. I think it got through customs okay. I mean, it's here, you know,
Wow.
but yeah, and so so I got to make it awkward though. So I was telling a buddy of mine about these 2GR briskets. Have you heard about 2GR briskets?
Mm-mm.
So apparently it's a lady in Australia that's very rich and she has her own herd of cattle that are Wagyu. So you go to Australia and talk about Australian Wagyu and they're like, hey, mate, it's just Wagyu here. I'm like, okay. So apparently they feed these Wagyu cattle chocolate.
Oh,
And-
wow.
Yes. But I didn't think about this until my buddy mentioned it yesterday. Chocolate is dairy, and these cows are basically eating their own secretions, it makes it weird.
Right.
But it makes it very rich and good tasting.
That's
don't know.
crazy.
I don't know but yeah, they feed these cows chocolate.
Wow. That's
yeah,
crazy.
2GR. Yeah.
Dang.
Look 'em up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll have to look
So-
that up.
I'm sure I'll
Ah.
screw the brisket up in Pine Bluff, but
Just
anyway.
be good with it. All right, let me. Is there a class that you guys recommend now over some others? Purchased Robbie rolls and really learned a lot, but I'm considering another perspective. Mark, I don't know what state do you live in, Mark. If you're in Texas, man, I mean, there's so many good Texas cooks. Carlos, you know, he's used Bill Purvis's class. He said Joey Smith's class. I mean, Lee Hickle's class, Aaron Leslie's class. Those I don't know. It depends on what you're cooking. A lot of times I'll tell people, where are you cooking at, Mark, and what kind of cookers. If you're cooking on pellet cookers, if you're cooking on drums, if you're cooking on offset. So he's in Nebraska. All right. What do you cook on, Mark? You cooking on pellets? You cooking on offset? I mean, if you're cooking on drums, man, Bill Purvis seems to do very well. And he's cooked all over. He's cooked in Georgia. He's cooked at the Royal. He's cooked everywhere, you know, and he cooks on drums.
Those
And
are great cooks.
so pellets. So Mark, pellet cooker, man, the only person who really cooked a lot of stuff on pellet cooker was David Bosca. He did a lot of stuff on pellets. Bill Purvis cooked on drums. He cooked his ribs on pellets, but I think he kind of explains, you know, how to go about cooking it. I think if you cook on a drum, you can take that and transfer that over to a pellet, because man, a pellet is a wood-fired convection oven. So I think you can take a lot of those recipes and put it in there and run it just like that. So Bill Purvis' class has been very good. Aaron Leslie, he's an incredibly good cook as well. He cooks on.
I think
an
Robert
offset.
Smith goes from a drum to a pellet.
Robert Smith, that's another one. He cooks on a drum and then goes over to a pellet. So, and he cooks a lot of places. So, man, any of those classes are hard to beat. And they're some of our newer classes. So,
I don't think any one of them would be a bad choice.
Yeah, I mean, I think cooking on like Eric and I are talking about switching to a pellet smoker on some things, but I mean, the techniques you pick up on, you know, Mike, I always like the way that you show how you probe, right?
Yeah.
I think that's one of the good things about your classes. You show how to probe, and then just the techniques of mixing sauces and how you finish them and the au jus that you put on at the end. You know, to me, if it's, I don't care what you're cooking on, those are going to help you be a better cook.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, at the end of the day.
yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah,
That's
buy 'em all.
No doubt. I mean, and that's a huge part of it. You know, I mean, it's the techniques. I mean, I tell people all the time, and I'll tell you, Mark, don't get hung up in recipes. It's the techniques,
Yes.
My class that
It's
I
a
did
tenderness game.
It's a tenderness game, and my class was more about techniques, highly, highly, highly technical techniques, things that's different, and yet we still show a good recipe, and I mean, got guys that's already done come out the gates, and we had a guy down in Texas this weekend. And I mean, he finished third overall and had his second highest rib call that he's ever had. He had a second rib, and I forgot all the numbers, but I mean, he was just incredibly stoked. So,
and then he took Bill's class and beat Bill.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah. So, anyway, so there's a lot of different things that you can do. So just remember that it's all about the processes. Yep, you're right. It is processes, techniques. I mean, that's where it's all at. So anyway, well, guys, look, man, I really do appreciate it. It's been great having y'all on here. Steven, you got any sponsors you want to thank, brother?
Well, I got some. I don't have technical sponsors, but I got some people I want to give some shout outs to.
Go right ahead.
First would obviously be Barbecue Champs Academy, because I wouldn't be sitting here if I didn't decide to take y'all's classes. And I want to shout out to Lee Hickle, who got me started, and Bill Purvis and Aaron Leslie. I mean, those guys, they flat know how to cook. And I appreciate if Aaron happens to be watching. I've been bouncing some ideas, and he's been bouncing ideas off me a little bit. So, Aaron, I appreciate your trust in me and what feedback I can give to you. Aaron's just a real good guy, and he'll help anybody.
No doubt.
Where I get my supplies, I'll give a shout out to Outdoor Grill Sales in Weatherford. He's the closest one to me. So when I get out west, I definitely stop by his store. He's got a lot of product, a lot of hardware. Papa Joe's over on the east side or south of Dallas, over in Red Oak. Joe Tucker, he helped me out this weekend, got me some stuff. And the barbecue store, they're a sponsor here. They kind of get me my hard to get items that maybe those other two guys don't carry yet. So they do a real good job of getting my stuff to me. And love HEB, love Weber, and Green Mountain Grills.
There you go. All right, brother. Shane?
Man, he touched on a bunch of the ones that support me. Everybody knows we've been the Heath Rouse support barbecue team, and man, I'm gonna tell you, his butter bath really helps us with pork and ribs, and it's got everything in a bag, man. I mean, it works.
Yep.
And man, it makes the wrap just so easy, But Dustin, and how many different ways can we say Elena, her name?
Yeah, that was funny today.
How many different ways can we say her name wrong? But
I know,
man, Dustin and Alana at the barbecue store, I mean, they jumped their hoops to take care of every one of us. You put in an order, man, that joker's going out the same day.
You ain't kidding.
And they carry 99% of what we need. And I've got a grill sponsor in Hooray Grills. I mean, I run their tailgater for cooking some of my chicken and cooking a lot of the stuff we eat at the comps. But on my back patio, I got the Hurtado smoke box and the Santa Maria we've run a couple whole pigs on, and they're built like tanks. He's out of Wichita, Kansas. They've been amazing. But, man, Tim Shear and his Gateway drums, them jokers just run. I switched from Hunsaker's to Gateway to get that flavor, and my calls went this way. Hunsaker's are great. They run great.
Right.
But that reverb of flavor from the charcoal you get from a Gateway, I mean, it really is hard to beat it. I tell people win on Hunsaker some of the time, people win on Gateways all the time,
Yeah.
So I mean, and not to talk smack, but man, I love everybody that supports us, and I got to give my boy Donald Keene a shout out, because Cinnabon for old Fireball Lacey, when she shows up, she's a whole lot of fun, and I know everybody loves her a whole lot more than they love me. They just tolerate me, but she'll be out in Pine Bluff with me this weekend, so we'll have a good time.
Well,
Yeah.
congratulations.
Just to let you know, Shane, I can relate to everybody loving your better half than me.
Yeah.
I deal with that all the time.
Yeah. That's it.
By the way,
I
where
mean, James, you're pretty, James. I mean, but
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
not. No, no,
You're
no,
not. You're
trust
not
me.
Erica pretty. So.
I understand. I understand.
Oh goodness. Well,
I
guys, I
think
really
all of us
appreciate
on
it.
here can say we outkicked our coverage.
That's it.
sing
That's
it,
it.
Frank.
Sing it, Frank. Yeah, that's it. Well, Shane, congratulations, man, on
Thank you.
your two GCs that you've had here. Hope you get
Thank
many
you.
more. We'll have you on, I'm sure, later down the line.
Thank you.
And I really do appreciate it. We're going to have tips for the American Royal coming up here probably in another couple weeks. So we will have shows leading up to the American Royal for a lot of tips. I see somebody just posted that. So be on the lookout. We'll be talking about that as well. Guys, I really do appreciate y'all being on. Thank y'all. Thank you for all of our listeners tonight. We really do appreciate y'all being on. Thank you so much. Y'all enjoy the rest of your week. And as we close out our barbecue classes, y'all go out there, have a lot of